Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome. Thank you for being here tonight. Yes, normally we do Wraith. Wraith would normally be tonight, but half of the cast is either on vacation or has something else going on or has just returned from vacation and still needs to rest. So we are doing a pre-game prelude for two of our characters for Vampire the Saxon Ages, Candle in the Mead Hall. This is taking place after our Session 0 shenanigans in the week leading to our Session 1. So, welcome. I'm Commodore Zed, your storyteller, sometimes retro gamer. I'd like you to check out the new About You section below. I put some work into that today. Have a look at it, have a read. The new rules are kind of stylized, but they still apply. They're all still pretty much the same. They just look a little fancier now, a little more on theme, but they are pretty much exactly the same. It's good to see everyone. I love the new dark theme. Thank you, Team Wildwood, for providing the alternative to the white, which is also awesome. So thank you very much. I know you're out there, but you can't hear me right now. I am joined today by Keywork Savior and Ellie. How's everyone doing today?
Not too bad.
Doing good. You?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm actually feeling really great. I'm excited to be here. I've got a nice little session planned for us tonight. The other part of the session is we are checking on technical stuff as well to make sure, because these two play in the same room, and we want to make sure we can get their audio as crisp as possible. Everything all right?
No, I was just showing that we're like really close to each other in the same room.
Oh, exactly. They are very close to the same room, so they're using microphones. So we are trying to figure out how to exactly get it to work perfectly so their audio is crisp. So that is another part of our exercise this evening. So it's role play and technical jiggery and pokery. Timey-wimey. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time, everybody.
Gremlin hunting.
Gremlin hunting. So this is also a get to know you for Caneric and Wendretta, two of our Ventru characters in the Candle in the Mead Hall. And I'm also going to let you know that I'm working on a new special project. We have started it's going to sound silly, but why wouldn't I? I thought it was a great idea. We've started a wiki for all the characters in the game. And the plot lines, and as a repository to where to find the sessions and things like that. I started work on it today. I'm going to be working on it with our current chronicles, and then as time comes on, as a repository for information on our previous chronicles. But I think it'll be an easier way in the future to archive some of the stuff, because I had to archive, which means delete some of the channels from our Discord today to keep room, because we were starting to run out of stuff. So we have created a fandom wikia. It's bare bones right now. I've just started working on it, but it is going to be an ongoing project between games. It's going to be a great way for me to maintain organization, other than the ridiculously long Word document that I have concocted at this point that I navigate with Control F. That's exactly, and I've turned it all into one giant outline. So I navigated without the outline mode and Control F. It works for now. It's like Bethesda says, it just works. So, tell us a little bit about yourself, Keywork, and tell us about your character. Give us the details. Give him his convictions. Give us some details about who he is. Start us off. Let us know about Caneric.
Okay. Well, I am Keywork Savior, so I do also stream, retro video games occasionally. Actually, I don't think I've streamed retro recently, but anyway. So Caneric, he is the bastard son of the fifth son of... I have to fill in these blanks, I guess, still. But basically, he is just a forgotten footnote from a noble line. Pledged basically as a wedding gift to, be a footman to protect the bride Windretta, and basically pledge myself to her. And yes, so he is he's kind of the whole system, the heraldry, everything. He's done with it. He stands by his pledge. He does not back down from an oath. But at the same time, like being cast aside, being left to fend for himself, to be taken care of by, well, basically those who the heraldry relies on, to survive. He's done with it. He wants to subvert it. His ambition really is to subvert the idea of heraldry. But on his own end, he is looking to kind of get away from it and people and everything. But again, overarching all of that, he is pledged to defend Windretta, to see to her needs so far as he can. And and he's just he's a big beefy bruiser guy.
Big beefy bruiser guy. And how do you pronounce his name? Say it again for me.
Keneric.
All right. Keneric. All right, Ellie, tell us about yourself, and then tell us about Windretta.
Hi, I'm Ellie, also known as Mrs. Keywork. I don't stream. I play games a little bit, but I tend to just sit in the background. This is my first time actually being on stream type thing, so this is new for me. But anyway, I play Windretta. She is the wife to the alderman. Let me check his name again. I can't remember.
Cuthwin.
Yes, that one. She was married off to him at a very young age, as most noble girls back then were. You know, they were sent off, and basically, she had a very sad upbringing, sad life, and because of that, she's a very quiet. She kind of she's very quiet. She tends to watch a lot of people, and she knows a lot of things, and this opportunity that she's got is kind of great for her because it's something different. So like, she hates the world and the life that she lives in, obviously, because, women were treated not the best. And so, yeah, there's that.
Let me ask you a quick question between both of you, because this is very important and kind of reflective of your character. What is your relationships with the church? I'm gonna go with Keywork first. I'm gonna put him on the spot and give you a few moments to think about that. Ellie.
Kenrick has a tenuous relationship with the church, if ever one. He was not in services when he should have been. He was running in the woods, basically. So it's when it's his station to be at a church service, he is, but he's, like Homer, la da 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 da, hey, the whole time, he's off in his own internal world. So yeah, no, he's not. No.
All right. How about Windretta?
She goes to church. I mean, it's not like she believes in it, but it's expected of her. So she goes to kind of keep up appearances, and so that people don't be like, oh my God, she's a witch or whatever. She's the wife of an alderman. She is, one of those that toes the line even if she really doesn't want to.
Are your characters superstitious? And a lot of people were. It wouldn't be unusual to be superstitious during this time period.
Probably it would depend. Aren't we all a little superstitious?
To some degree, like in so much the wisdom that he's got from people that he couldn't, he's never seen a fairy circle. But if he did, he'd probably mess with it just to see what would happen. He spent so much time in the woods poking at things that he hasn't seen anything that he couldn't explain. So just kind of like the folkloric sense maybe, but he's not a true believer in the superstition. He's not, if a black cat walks across him, he'll probably kick the cat and keep going. But
how about the devil and all of his ways? Do you believe in the devil?
That's a good question.
He's only seen the devil when he's seen people act like him.
Probably not. She doesn't really believe in God, so she wouldn't really believe in the devil either, would she?
That's very unusual for the time. I'm just pointing that out. That does set you as a minority of the people of the time.
Yeah, but it kind of like she also.
Which is fine.
It's not like she would let people know. It's something that she keeps inside of her type thing.
Okay. I dig it. I dig it. All right. A couple more questions. I'm feeling your questions. I'm trying to get your creative juices flowing, Ellie. So the more comfortable you are on camera, the more you will be with the role play that comes out. So we've decided for superstitious, if you believe in God, what did you do day to day before the feast? I'm going to start with keyword. I'm always going to put you on the spot first.
Fun. I followed her around. No. When I was at station, I followed Milady, tips Fedora, and stood at her shoulder at her guard. I saw to her needs. Any downtimes that I'd have, I was pretty much out of the burg, so to speak. Otherwise, interacting with the people like the blacksmith within Wessex, who I had business with, frequenting the alehouse. But otherwise, my duties in court, so to speak, were often very boring. Again, inside my own head, while keeping my eyes open.
Okay.
And of course, my ears as well, being at court, hearing the things to hear.
Fair enough. Okay. That brings us to Ellie. What was Windretta's day to day?
Probably very boring. She would, spend the time that she would need to do in court, but, she did a lot of walking outside. She visited her siblings because she's got a whole passel of them. And she's very close to her sister, the not the one right after her, but the one after that one. They're very close. She visits her very often. Her sister visits her often. Of course, she goes to like shops. She always tries to keep at least a little busy so she doesn't get too horrifically bored. Plus, it's great to pick up gossip everywhere because she is a listener and she likes that stuff. Thought there was a cat behind me for a second.
There we go. I don't know why I don't know why the source was turned off, folks. See, this is why we're here. All right. So that's all. That's great stuff. That is all great stuff. These are things to consider, but a lot of that's out the door now. You've had the feast. You've heard the speech. You've been drained. You've been killed. Lord Adelgar has brought you back from the dead as Canaanites. We're going to go over what he told you the first night. We're going to go over everything we went on in the Discord up to a point. But we're going to begin. The chamber lies deep beneath the old villa. Not a crypt, but a sub-Roman hall. Half forgotten and repurposed long before the current generation knew its name. Its walls are thick stone, Roman ashlar covered in lime wash, cracked and veined with creeping moss, where damp has settled through the centuries. Iron sconces, blackened and rough-hewn, flicker with slow-burning rushlights soaked in tallow, casting troubling shadows on carved walls. At the center of the space stands a long oaken table, its surface burnished with age and heavy oil, marked not with symbols, but with time itself. Grooves, candle scorches, the nicks of a blade. Two high-backed chairs flank its head, carved with knotted beasts and vinework in the old style, Wessex, blended with Frankish flourish. The floor beneath it is packed earth, but laid with woven mats of red and gold thread, thick as a lord's pride. Above the rafters are low and ancient, backwood beams salvaged from the ship long ago. Hanging from them are faded banners, one emboldened with white boar on blue, another a lion rampant without a crown. Their meanings are lost or obscured, but their presence lingers like the breath of forgotten oaths. Lord Aldegar brings you in, one on each side. He's dressed in a robe, gilded with gold, hooded over his head. He leads you through to two plinths. He doesn't ask you to lay on the plinths. You've already been there. You've already risen. But he reminds you of the places you had been. He asks you to reflect upon the lives you had. To think back to what it was like to be human. Wendretta, daughter, not just of lineage but of will, the line you were denied by birth I restore in blood. You were order's answer to chaos, the flame tempered by stone, the throne that will yield no weeping winds. I did not give you eternity to watch. I give you eternity to rule, and that is heavier a crown than any king wears. Others will break. You will bind. Stand not above the people, but before them, and when the time comes, show them that a queen does not beg. She commands. Kenrick, my deliberate son, you are the hand that stays steady when the others flinch. Where Wendretta brings thunder, you will bring calculation. That balance will build empires. You may be the second I embraced, but you will be second in all. You will not be second in all things. You are the steward of continuity, the reason when passion runs hot. You were the whisper in the tyrant's ear that ends his reign quietly. You are not made for thrones alone, but for the architecture beneath them. He steps between you. A hand out to you, Wendretta. A hand out to you, Kenrick. The others do not know yet. Let them play their parts, rebel, poet, beast, fool. You must be what they cannot be, the foundation. The venture do not lead because we crave control. We lead because order must survive us. Remember this. Oaths are not spoken, they are lived. Blood is not hunger, it is a chain. From Cain to us, to those we bind, power is not taken, it is maintained. When kings die, when saints falter, when monsters rule the night, it is the clan of kings that endures. And you are part of the clan of kings. Be what the world needs, not what it expects. And when the call comes, answer not with doubt, but with authority. He draws a dagger, and he etches a symbol above the door in his own vitae. None may question you, not because they fear you, but because they know, deep in the marrow, that you were chosen. He looks to you, Wendretta, and he waits for you to speak. How do you respond to everything that was just said to you?
Well, his words ring through my head, and it takes me a second to speak, but when I do, my voice is very cold. It's icy, like the wind, like winter winds that go through the catacombs. Then I say, "Then let it be written in the marrow of the world. I was not born to a crown, but I was carved for it. Stone does not beg the river to part and endures until the current bends around it. So shall I be. I look at you, Lord Algar, and I look back to Kenrick. You call me queen, my lord. I accept the weight, not for want of rule, but because the world cannot hold without structure. Let rebels break themselves against the storm. Let poets weep into the dust. Let beasts hunger and fools dance in ash. I will be the spine they forgot they needed. I walk towards the brazier and I touch the side of it. You know, it's warm, but it's not as warm as it was when I was a human. And I just touch it and I say, I will not drift through eternity like so many ghosts in silk. I will build, bind, burn away what festers beneath the stone. I look at Kineric again, and I say, together we are not throne and steward. We are the spine and the sword, two pillars beneath the crumbling empire, and the hour has come to bear the weight. I do not thank you, Lord Algar. Thanks are for gifts. This was purpose, buried until now. You did not give it to me. You only uncovered what was already waiting. And let the world know that when Dread kneels to no fate, she becomes it.
He looks at you impressed. You can see it in his face. He smirks slightly out of the corner of the right side of his mouth. Only for a second, though. He turns to Kenrick and waits.
Milady has many words for the gift that you have given us, and I will give you my thanks, though I need not so many words. Her will is mine. I will follow her to the depths of hell, to the gates of heaven, wherever she may lead. Though I tell her, and I tell you, I am not used to hearing good words from those who sit on thrones and speak lofty words. That the foundation beneath the throne is mine that I would crush if I were able. So, but I will take this gift and I will use it. I will be the sword. I will follow Milady.
One moment, please.
Apologize, folks. We're using text to press to talk because we're both in the same room. So we're jabbering, but we don't want you getting both of us in echo at the same time. I hate how quiet the stream gets when things go down for a minute. How is everybody doing today? How's your Saturday going?
I know there is somebody lurking in here too, and just know that I can see you.
And just know that your secret isn't safe. But we thank you for being here all the same.
Oh, hush you.
Downstairs, let's go.
You love me.
Andy. Let's go. No. Andy, go. Go, Jax. Everyone downstairs. Everyone go. Jax. Everyone in. I apologize. We're going to be joined by dogs tonight. They cannot be upstairs right now. I apologize if they bark. Okay.
Hellhounds.
Right.
Work is going better now that I've said TTRPGs. Thank you. So Aldegar, standing before you. Raises both hands. I do not have as long as I would like to teach to both of you. The reasons you were chosen for the embrace are many, but they are rushed, and your tutelage shall be rushed. If the need for me to return to Aldegard to Trier were not necessary, I would take you with me, and we would continue our training for 7 years. We do not have that time. I must return to Trier, and you cannot leave Wessex. You must begin to rule it from the very night we release you. So your training must begin now. Most importantly, you must know the traditions of our kind. Let it be mitten in tomorrow. The world was not born. I already read that. I'm sorry. That was yours. Most of my stuff right now is pre-written as well, people, just to let you know. Where is it?
I'll mine off the cuff. Be impressed.
Be impressed. Be very impressed.
Maybe.
Just give me a second. I'm just catching back up. Where'd it go? Alder raises his hand and he get the whole room. You all go silent as he raises his hand. I do apologize. That was not delivered smoothly. I do apologize. It could have been better. He raises his hand and you both fall silent. We have much to teach before we return to our holdings, and the greater philosophies of mortality are immaterial to the matter at hand. There are laws, ancient, sacred, etched in the soul of our kind, since the first city crumbled into dust. We call them the traditions. You will learn them now, and live by them until the right night takes you. First, silence. You will speak nothing of our kind to the living. No hint, no shadow. Should the herd awaken to what walks among them, they will bring torches and steel, and we will burn. Their ignorance is our shield. Second, progeny. You do not make another without leave. The embrace is not a gift to give lightly. Each child weakens the veil. One misstep and the whole illusion shatters. Third, destruction. You do not slay your own. Not without cause, not without order. If you sire, you are responsible for what you create. Should your child fail, betray, or break the silence, it is you who shall answer for it. Blood answers to blood. When you enter another's domain, you make yourself known. To slink in unannounced is to declare yourself a threat. If a stranger comes to Winchester, they must present themselves to you. If they do not, you will make example of them. These are the laws. They are not negotiable. They are not gentle, but they are the only reason we have not all been hunted to extinction. You are the keepers now. Fail, and you will not only lose this city, you will lose yourselves. Do you understand, or do you need me to go over these again?
No, I understand.
I understand.
Your role as Ventrue is to uphold these traditions. The others will learn them, but you are to maintain order. From the time of Cain, from the time our sire, Ventrue, was created, we have been the law keepers. Not the judges, but the lawgivers. We've held the law sacred. We've ruled the other kindred, the other Cainites. The others will resent you for it. They always do. How you choose to rule is going to be of importance. Do you do it quietly? Do you do it openly? Or do you do it collaboratively? These are all lessons you're going to have to decide and learn. Do you have questions, my children?
No questions.
Will we learn of our weaknesses? Every strength has a weakness.
Yes. As I mentioned during the feast, you will never walk amongst the sun again. It'll burn your form, destroy you, end you. The same with fire. A stake to the heart will not kill you, but it will immobilize you. It'll make you weak, vulnerable. You will sleep during the day, and you will live on the blood of the living. Or for a time, beasts, though I doubt that will be of any concern to either of you, as you have the blood of kings through you, and you will find you have more rarefied tastes.
Would that be why I ended up throwing up at the feast?
Very likely. We must learn what your rarefied taste is. I have brought, or had brought, a selection of vessels for you over the next couple of nights. We shall find your preference. Out of character. Caneric, what is your preference?
I don't hold to the clan bane, the traditional clan bane of the Ventrue. I am, yes, my clan bane has to do with acting against my elders. So if I were to act against him, I would face penalties and have to spend willpower.
That is correct. You are correct. All right. That brings us to Wendretta. What is your feeding restriction?
Mine is the, it's also a clan bane, right? It's the rarefied taste, noble blood.
Yes. So she can only feed off those of noble blood, and during the feast, she had fed on a thrall. Essentially a slave, and then she had vomited it back
and then
up.
I puked everywhere.
Which reminds me, you are very hungry. You are at hunger 3.
Hunger 3, okay.
Keyword, you are at hunger 1. You did not kill the person you fed from. You did not need to, if I remember correctly, but you managed to get yourself down to hunger 1 on your victim. Aldegar steps down, comes closer to the two of you. You notice his flesh is pale, old, but he looks sick, not quite dead. Watch, children, as I rouse the blood in my body, the vitae, to take on a semblance of the living. It is a skill you'll need to learn. And he makes a rouse check, which I'm going to actually do for you guys, for everybody. Why are the dice right there? That's unusual. All right, so he does not get hungrier, but you notice his body begins to blush. He begins to look alive. As the blood seems to course through his veins, he becomes more living. He goes, I have just used the vitae that I've stolen from the kine to refresh my body, and you may do the same.
And we are at Humanity 8, correct?
You're at Humanity 8, yes.
So 2 dice.
2 dice. You have 2 dice you can write, yes.
You're going to roll 2 dice to do a rouse check.
Okay, so it's 2 of the black dice. Then.
Actually, I don't think... Hold on, you're Humanity 8. I don't think you even have to do a rouse check to activate Blush of Health, but let me double check.
I think that's 9. I think 8 gives 9? You 2 dice.
I think you're correct. You do not get hungry either, and you activate Blush of Health. And you are suddenly no longer appear dead or sickly, so to speak. Yes, you can roll 2 dice and use the highest result, which clearly you both got. Nice mining base. Okay. He looks to you. He looks to Wendretta. I do not know how the gift has taken hold of you. I don't know if you have learned the powers that I have, or if there are powers that you have gained that I do not know. But if you carry my lineage, you will be able to control the minds of lesser men and women. With practice, you'll be able to confuse their minds, make them forget the last few moments of their existence with you. Further on, you'll be able to mesmerize them, give them small commands to make them follow. Eventually, you'll be able to rewrite their memories completely. And more. The two of you have the capacity for great resilience. Your bodies will be temples made of marble. And your will be dauntless. Mortals and kindred alike will bow to you. Will bow to your very immortal presence, should you learn how to control those powers. And there will be other disciplines available to you throughout your existence. Other powers of our kind, just within grasp. Just as you have Banes, you have these powers. But they are all fueled by the blood, and you must hunt. And you must take. And sometimes you must kill. But do not be wanton, do not be a beast. For then, if you were a beast, you sacrifice to secrecy. Then you sacrifice your existence. Do you understand?
I understand.
I understand.
One moment, please. Jax.
Whoopee!
Oh, baby.
This ought to do it. This ought to keep him quiet just for a little bit. Okay, can't get into anything at this point. So Aldegar reaches down and he picks up a rat off the ground. And he begins to stroke it. He brings the rat to his mouth and he bites into it. And he drinks from it. And he spits it out, blood, and the rat throws it to the ground. For me, that is a waste. For you, that may be the only blood that you may be able to find in a given night. With age, that will change. For now, you are barely vampires. The thinnest blood that has ever existed flows through your veins. We are unsure if the gift will even hold. This is an experiment to see how such thin-blooded creatures can hold a city. You were chosen because you are the most worthy of the mortals who won't be missed. I believe you are up to the task. Ask me any questions you may have, and I am prepared to answer them.
You and your fellows, what you called?
What are we called? Canines.
You are a group.
Ah, yes. A group name. This question has been asked by Father Cater. I've never seen a need to name such a group, but we were brought together by the Hollow Seer. She came to each of our cities and told us of a prophecy of a Methuselah that slept on the island. and that we must create a coterie that will keep this from happening. Some way, some form. A Methuselah is a kindred of great age, great power, great influence. It is a little concern to you now. I'm sorry about the dogs, everybody. Jax! Jax. Stop. Buddy. Knock it off. Relax. Relax. The dogs of war are upon us, Saki. Jeez and bro. They're both going berserk.
We can't even hear them this time. It's actually quiet.
Oh, you can't hear them. Okay, then I'm freaking out for absolutely no reason. I thought everyone could hear them. They are very loud over here. I apologize.
Every once in a while, you'll just hear like the tinkle of their collar, and that's about it.
Okay. So Avagar.
Ooh, we got some thunder here.
Ooh, excellent. Excellent. Hopefully we don't lose everything. Avagar looks to the both of you. You're going to have to learn how to function within society. The daylight is cut off to you. You exist only at night now. This will be a great challenge. So much of your lives took place during the day, and you'll never see sunlight again. These are challenges you will have to consider. I'll leave you to talk amongst yourselves. It says the storyteller. As Elgar backs up and out of the room.
Milady, are you well?
As well as one can be at a time like this.
Indeed.
What about you?
I don't know what I am.
You know you can always speak freely with me. That it does not matter what is actually on your mind. You can just say it. No need to hide.
If I could put it into words, I would, but this is not a situation I would have bet I would see should the sun rise, or the moon, I guess, now as it is.
I shall miss the sunrise.
Indeed. And this will be a problem, though I feel excuses can be made, reasons can be given. I'd leave it to you to explain our situation to those at court.
I will come up with something that will appease everybody. I will have to think on that, though.
What of his promise of rule? You, the spine, me, the sword. It's nigh on blasphemy for those who would hear it.
Do you actually think that we are going to be the ruler, or do you just think that he told us this? Something that we wanted to hear.
I did not think that he was deceiving us. He seemed earnest as he spoke, though I feel that we would have to be rulers in secret. I don't see how you could rise upon the Lord and overtly rule. It's not your station nor mine.
Yes, I was thinking in secret, although there can always be room to change that in the future if that comes up.
Currently, as it is, when Dretta is in charge of things while Cuthwin is out on campaign. So it does happen from time to time when Wendretta is in charge of many, many things, because Cuthwin is often on campaign to try to gain influence with the king.
That's right.
Come here.
This is not like how it usually is when my husband is out of town. This will be a completely different type of ruling, I guess.
Indeed, and your own flock to tend as well. He said that we have the blood of kings. Do we rule over these other Canaanites, our neighbors who now share this blessed curse?
And what will they think when they hear what if they ever hear what we heard? How will they react to it? Should we trust them?
Indeed, and how does one enforce secret laws of embracing others, creating more of us?
Do you honestly want to create more of us right now?
That is not my worry. I worry about the others.
So do I think.
And what of the memories of the others who were fed upon? Those who lived? Will they remember it? Will they see our faces and cringe?
I do not believe so. Or at least I would hope not. It seems like there is a lot of secrecy and a ways to make people forget things.
Can you cloud minds? Is this something that he has done? He said he doesn't know how you will develop, or I guess by extension myself. I don't feel that I could deceive you with my mind.
You could never deceive me.
Would we like to try to see if you could erase Keywork Savior's memory for a few seconds, for a few moments?
You want to see if you can lose your mind?
Take me wherever you want to go, baby.
All right. So as you make eye contact with them, I want you to roll. We're going to dominate, and we're going to learn how to use your dominate power. We're going to learn how to use it against Keywork Savior, against Kyneric.
All right. So what do I do?
All right. Which powers do you have? You have compel and
mesmerize.
Compel and mesmerize. All right. So essentially, you have compel. Now, what page is that on? Dominate. There it goes. All right. So, what you're going to do using compel, with eye contact, you can issue the victim a single action command no longer than a short sentence to be obeyed to the letter. It must be possible to complete the command in a single turn. Now, he'd probably obey any command you gave him anyway. But now you can give him a command and make a charisma plus dominate versus intimidation plus resolve, just to see how the power works.
Okay. That was a lot.
So you're going to roll your charisma plus dominate. Keywork, you're going to roll your intelligence plus resolve.
So my charisma is a 3, and my dominate is a 2.
Yes, so you should have 5 dice pool, and you're going to 3 of those dice pool are going to be red dice.
So 3 are red, and then the other 2 are black.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
No idea what that means.
Well, you got 3 successes.
Woohoo.
Which is good. I believe that's good, even though they're all on the red dice. I think you're fine. I don't think something terrible happened to you.
If she critted, I think that would be messy.
Let me double check, because I think it actually might matter. 1 second.
You are supposed to issue me a command with your
Yes.
mesmerize.
Issue a command with your mesmerize.
You will forget the last 2 minutes of our conversation.
Nope. You don't have that power. You have,
Okay, so what do I do?
You have compel. You can issue a command, like a one-word command, like sit, do push-ups, or something like that.
Okay. Sit.
Yes, milady.
Okay, you're fine. Nothing bad happens to you. And you just you sit. You feel a compulsion to do it though, not your normal just loyalty. You feel
No, I don't. Chris succeeded against it, but I sat because she told me to.
Oh, you did crit succeed. Never mind. It doesn't matter. You did crit succeed. So yes, but you think it happens. You believe that he just. You probably can't tell.
Probably not.
Probably not. That's hilarious.
I'm kind of wondering because I didn't feel any sort of supernatural compulsion, but I sat.
You did feel a supernatural compulsion. You still felt it, but you didn't have to obey.
Right, of course.
You felt the need to obey. Hey, you two. Hey.
I tried.
Hey. That's enough. Jax, you're instigating. That's enough. Come here, Dandy. You stay over here. Alright, sorry, folks. The pups are going crazy on me. Algar walks back in, and he notices that what you're doing, and he doesn't chuckle, he doesn't smile, he just looks and goes, attempting to use your powers on each other is very intelligent. Learning your strengths and your weaknesses with each other will temper you against the others. Auto defense straight is a great one-word command. Oh no. I don't even know what that means, Shrion.
I'm like you. I want to gesticulate, so push to talk is a problem.
Yes.
To defenestrate is to throw somebody out of a window. So to auto defenestrate is to
throw yourself out the window. Excellent.
I will keep that in mind for the next time.
We're underground, Sakura.
That wasn't Sakura.
Oh, Shrion.
Oh, my bad. Same. You're both pink on my chat. My bad.
Algar once again looks between you two, but if you're going to continue doing so, make sure you are doing so safely.
Always do safe hex.
Always do safe hacks, Jesus Christ. Let's keep those down to a minimum if we can. Stop it. Enough. Stop. You're being really annoying tonight. Can they come out now? Go, Jack. You go. All right. Ooh, vape. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
You do a lot in Tactical Breach Wizards. All right. Where were we? Algar. There are many powers that you will learn that you can cloud the mind of many people. He looks at you, Wendretta. He goes, you wish to learn your abilities, I'll show you them. He looks at you and he yells, jump up and down. He looks at you. He locks gaze and he says, jump up and down. You're going to make the roll this time. You're going to make the intelligence plus resolve versus his charisma plus dominate.
All right, 3 red and 1 black.
All right, that is awesome. You got a total of 3 successes. He got a critical success. So now Wendretta finds herself jumping up and down. Unable to stop. In place. And it's a little embarrassing. But you can't stop. until he tells you to, and you know it. You know that you just won't be able to stop, and it becomes distressing as you've lost control momentarily, you just keep hopping in place, hopping, hopping, hop hoppity hop hoppity hop, until he tells you to stop, and then you do, and you stop. You're not out of breath because you don't breathe. You're just still again. That is the control you will have over men and women. More than just motor control. You'll be able to control their emotions. You started with a sit, a simple sit. Any man, any dog can sit. Chimeric is no dog. Dandy, come here. Even they don't listen.
Listen like kids.
Exactly. All they want to do is bark. He looks to Chimeric. He locks eyes with you. And he says, kneel and prostrate before me. Now, this is not a simple command. He just gave you a multi-word command. He's using mesmerize. So I'd like you to roll your intelligence plus resolve versus must make a rouse check first. We observe all the rules. He is now hungrier. He received 4 successes. You received 2. I can't hear you.
I gesticulate with my left hand. I'm going to use a willpower to reroll.
But can you because of your clan bane?
That's a good question.
That's a great question. And you would only be able to reroll one. Yes, you could reroll 2 of those. No, yes, all 3 of those. Let's take a look at your clan bane.
Well, now it does say I have to take a penalty to my disciplined dice pools when attempting to use my powers on an older vampire, and I have to spend 2 willpower to directly attack.
Yeah, I was just double checking.
An elder vampire.
No,
you're good.
You are directly correct. You may spend a willpower if you do not wish to grovel. You may spend a willpower. He is being a bully right now.
I was really hoping for a crit. No, the dice decided that the story goes that he puts me on my knees and I bow down before him and supplicate myself.
Do not supplicate yourself like Ethelwald, but do supplicate yourself. Tits, Lord.
I briefly touch my forehead to the floor before rising again.
He looks smug. That is what you will be able... Does anyone wish to attempt to do it to him?
Really tempting. Really tempting.
I mean, I could directly attack him, but I see no reason to.
No one makes Chimeric kneel but Windretta.
Oh, okay.
That's my man.
Keep your hands off him.
All right, are you going to attempt to command him? Compel. You can compel, or you could mesmerize. You have mesmerism as well.
I think you should. I think you should swing for the fences.
All right, let's swing for the fences.
All right, so
you
can issue a complex command to a victim as long as you have the subject's gaze and relative quiet in which to issue the instruction. The instruction must be carried out immediately to the victim's best ability and must not contain any conditional actions. So what is your command that you wish to impart upon Lord Aldegar?
To kneel and kiss my hand.
Oh, so you tell him, kneel and kiss my hand. All right, I want you to make your charisma plus dominate. Well, first make your rouse check.
Rouse check is just one, right?
Yep, just one.
It's the black one.
It's the black one, yep.
Can you blood surge for rolls like this?
No. Nope. That's only for physical rolls. All right, so you get to roll 2 rouse checks, but you don't need to.
Okay, so just do this one.
Yes, you're fine because you succeeded. And you would take the highest of them. You get to roll 2 rouse checks because you're blood potency 2. All right, so you pass your rouse check. Now make your manipulation plus dominate versus intelligence plus resolve. And I've got some nasty magic for you here in a second.
All right, so that's 5, and that's 3 red and 2 black.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens. Oh boy.
All right, you got 2 successes. All right, 2 successes would be very easy to beat, but I'm going to roll it. I'm going to roll it anyway. Intelligence plus resolve.
I think I failed.
You both get 2. Ty goes to the defender. Nothing happens. He looks at you, and he looks you directly in the eye as you say this to him. And a smile does not cross his lips. Neither does it split into a frown. His eyes narrow. He looks deep into your soul. Quack like a duck. He makes the roll against you. Makes the rouse check. No, it's just actually won it because he's just using compel. So no rouse check. Charisma plus dominate. Now he's just training you. Oh my god.
He's just being a dick.
Yep.
Now. Oh god.
Yes.
That means I'm quacking like a duck, doesn't it?
You don't actually need to quack like a duck if you don't need to, but when Dretta does quack like a duck.
I reach out and grasp his upper forearm with intention.
Oh, okay. All right.
You will release Milady.
You reach out, you grab his forearm, he turns and he looks at you. What do you do as he turns to look at you? He hasn't said anything yet, but you can clearly see he's going for you. He's going to make eye contact with you as he's turning his head slowly.
Well, meta-knowledge aside, I'm wondering if Kenarek would be wise enough to recognize that every time this has happened, direct eye contact has been made.
Give me a wits plus awareness check. Can't hear you because you're not using your push to talk.
I know, I'm talking to myself.
Okay. Absolutely. You've put together that anytime he's made eye contact with you and given you a command, you've done it, regardless of what he's told you. Including making Windretta quack like a duck.
I divert my gaze down kind of just below the bridge of his nose. I request that you release Milady from your compulsion. You've proven your point.
He looks at your hand. And he kind of shakes your hand away. Do you let it go? It's not like he's got some supernatural massive force behind it. He shakes his hand as to let you go.
I release my grip. He's broken the eye contact. Is she still under the compulsion?
Oh no, she only had to quack for a while. She ended up stopping.
Okay. No, I release my hand as he moves his arm.
When
It was just to make a point.
This is embarrassing.
Yes.
So we are going to I'm going to have you actually do a frenzy check.
Okay, so what do I do there?
I'm going to actually get to those rules real quick because I am not used to them. So we are going to look at the state of damnation, and I'm going to go to frenzy. Control F. We did not use frenzy rules a lot in the Lake Blackwater by Night. So we are checking on the frenzy rules.
Yeah, we realized, I think, there were more than a few spots we should have, but it's
definitely should have, yes.
What is frenzy anyway?
Frenzy is when the beast gets so angry and loses control that you lose control and go crazy and violent.
Oh boy, kind of out of character for her, but that's fun.
It's the beast. It's very out of character for everybody.
Well, that's why him insulting you is triggering for
Yes,
it.
it's very tricky.
That makes sense.
Please stop barking, Dandy. Lay down.
Plus, you're really hungry.
Plus, yes, you're also at hunger 3, but you're not. You're not. That's not why you're frenzying. Just give me 1 second, folks. I just need to look at the index because Control F is not working very well for me. 219. All right. So frenzy. Effects of frenzy, types of frenzy, different fury frenzy. So, friend killed, lover touched, physical provocation or harassment. So the difficulty is 2. All right, so you need to make a willpower test. So roll your willpower. Difficulty 2.
So I do 6.
6 dice, difficulty 2, yes.
And it's still the 3 red and 3 black?
Yeah, no. No, you do not roll red dice for willpower.
Oh, so it's just the black ones. Okay.
Yes. You got 2 successes. You do not fly into a frenzy, but you are. He has been pissing you off at this point.
He definitely has.
Tell him, baby.
I kind of look at Lord Elgar and I say, I think you've proven your point. Enough is enough. You're really testing my patience right now with this. I don't do bullies in my normal life, my human life. Why would I be okay with them right now? Aren't you supposed to be teaching us? How is this teaching?
Doesn't smile. Doesn't frown. He looks impassive. Unimpressed. Bullies. It's not what this is. You need to know what we are capable of. We rule the night. To do so, we must rule the mind. Steal our own minds. Make ourselves invulnerable to each other. We have left you, Wessex, devoid of all other Canaanites. We have left this city to you. We encourage you to rule it well. When we return, we will see how you've done. We're going to take a 10-minute break right here. And we will be back, everybody.
Woo!
Let's start us off early, everyone. All right, we are back. All right, so we're going to end that night. That night is going to end, and we're going to go into another one. We're going to start another night. We're going to go work through some other rules of the game that we don't really use very often. The awakening rouse check. Every morning that you wake up, you must make a rouse check to see if you expend blood or not.
And that's the 2 black die, right?
It is not 2 black die. I double checked. We do not take 2 dice for a rouse check for normal. I was misreading the rule.
So it's just 1?
It's just 1, yes. It's 2 dice to activate disciplines, but not for normal rouse checks. Ellie does not get hungrier. Neither does Keyword Savior. So you awaken at the same hunger level you were before. All right, what rules would you like to explore?
Social combat, maybe?
Social combat. Who would you like to get into some social combat with? Let me get to the social combat rules real quick. Social combat.
I mean, Kenrick is going to have to engage in it. It's not going to be a strong suit. I think that's going to be more for Windretta. But I want her to see how that works, because we did that a fair bit in the last campaign, Chronicle.
Yes, we did. We did quite a bit of social combat, and I'm just looking for the rules of it again real quick. It's not all that different from normal physical combat, if we're going to be completely honest with each other. It uses the same 3 and out structure. It just uses socials, and your health pool is willpower. So it's actually very, very, very easy. But social combat is page 304. All right. So who do you want to have a shouting match with, Keyword?
Well, I was hoping Windretta would get in a shouting match. Again, she has higher willpower and better social combat stats than I do.
Yes, okay. Let's have Windretta get into a shouting match. Who should Windretta get into a shouting match with?
I don't know.
This is a hypothetical shouting match. This is not need. This would be a shouting match. Hypothetical shouting match against your sire, because we're trying to use the word. This is a pre-session prelude. We're learning the rules as well as doing the role play we've done. So we don't have a complete structure tonight. So thank you for sticking with us, folks. And for those of you who joined us from the break, I'm Commodore Zed. I'm your storyteller. I should have mentioned this before, and I'm joined by Keyword Savior and Ellie. Who are joining me today for some Vampire the Masquerade, Candle in the Mead Hall, Vampire the Saxon Ages. We're doing some pre-session 1 preludes and getting used to the rules and working out some technical difficulties. As you can see, normally we would have 6 players. Tonight I have 2 who are helping me get everything ready, and they're doing a fantastic job. This is Ellie's first night, technically, so we're helping break her in just a little bit. Gently. In a gentle fashion, we're helping. All right. So, your social conflict pool, it's going to come down to what you're doing. If you're staring someone down, it's going to come down to like your resolve plus your intimidation. If you're trying to cajole someone, it's going to be, or if you're trying to use your etiquette, you're trying to use the rules of the situation, you're going to use your composure plus etiquette roll in a situation like that. So it's really going to depend on how you're doing something socially. If you're just verbally berating them, it's going to be the manipulation plus persuasion. Hold on 1 second. There's someone at my door.
Hey, do you have that charging block?
Charging block? Just mine.
Thank you. I have the charger if I don't have the charging block. Oh,
I am streaming, but okay.
oh I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Ellie has found herself in court in a social combat situation, which is something she may be running into on Monday. So I don't know if I want to do this exactly, because this is exactly what we're going to run into on Monday. All right. So, yes, let's get the rules out so we know how to do it on Monday when it comes to it.
Okay.
All right, Ellie. So the person who is talking to you is, you are in front of the Witten, the court of Wessex.
Okay, then.
And you are being accused of, I'm not going to tell you what you're being accused of, but you're being accused of something. And you need to defend yourself. So they are going to make a manipulation plus persuasion roll against you. You're going to respond. How would you respond against accusations being made against you? Would you fight back verbally? Would you stare them down? Would you swing accusations back against them? How do you think you would respond?
If someone was accusing me of something, it would be a look. And obviously, if the look doesn't work, then it comes to words. But it's never violence.
Okay. All right.
So,
give me intelligence plus etiquette versus their manipulation plus persuasion.
and do I do the 3 red die
Yes,
on
you
this
do
one
the-
as well?
You do the 3
Okay.
red dice as well, because this could affect you. The people
Does
you're
being hungry make you grouchy?
Yes, it does.
You need a Snickers.
All right. So in this verbal exchange where you are using courtly etiquette against the person making accusations against you, you managed to maneuver yourself into a situation where you received 4 successes on your roll, and you outmaneuver them because they only received 3 successes on their roll. You would have just done 1 superficial damage to their willpower, which they would mark off from theirs, and then you would continue it, and you would have the advantage. And you could keep pressing the advantage if you wanted into the next roll. And once you have that advantage, how would you like to pursue it? Granted, in a normal situation, we'd be role-playing this out as well. We're not doing
Yes.
that because I'm trying to save something for Monday.
Well, it would all depend. Like, would they still be coming after? Like, causing an issue? Would I have to continue on type thing? Because I'm not going to continue to verbally berate somebody if they've backed off.
Maybe you got to put them in their place.
You have to.
Well, yeah, there's that. I mean, you put them in their place, but you don't verbally berate them.
Now, there's different ways we can do this. We can run a situation like this as a 1-roll scene. That is a possibility. We can do that, but depending on the severity of the scene, we'll either do it as a 1-roll conflict, which if the outcome doesn't really matter, that's what we'll do. We'll do a 1-roll conflict, and then whoever won. Otherwise, we'll do a 3 and out.
I was going to say, Kieran could step in to intimidate them, seeing them be put off by her unwavering glare.
You could. Give me a resolve plus composure plus intimidation.
All right, so I have a specialty in
I'm
intimidation.
sorry, resolve plus intimidation.
Right. Okay. So, yep. All right. So I do have a specialty in intimidation due to display of rank. Now my daunt, it says I add my presence to intimidation rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Is that only for people who are thinking of attacking me, or is that any intimidation roll?
That's any intimidation roll.
Okay. So that there is no rouse check for that. So I just add a dot to
You
it.
just add a dot to it. Yes.
All right. So I'm rolling an 8.
Nice. And they would roll a resolve plus composure to not be intimidated. This is just a normal human.
They cower before
They
me.
do cower before you, and they
Look at the size of that sword.
being intimidated by a huskarl is something that they will not soon forget, as they cower behind someone else and skulk away. Very good. So you are very intimidating.
Just a bit.
Just a bit. All right, so that's the basics of social combat. Now, the way damage works in social combat depends on your audience. If it's only the opponents, if it's only you and someone else having a rap battle, well, not a rap battle, but a scop battle with no other witnesses, there's no bonus damage on top of everything. If you're in front of your coterie, it's +1 damage. If it's around kindred whose opinion you value, +2. If it's important figures in your life, it's +3. So that would be, important people would probably be like the Witten, Elderman. I'm a huge supporter of newbies too, Sakura. And thank you for being a huge supporter of these newbies.
Yes, especially for me.
They're doing great. And you're going to do great on Monday. And look at it this way. On Monday, there'll be 6 people, and you won't have to be the focus.
This is true. I won't have to talk as much.
You won't have to talk as much. You can talk as little or as much as you like.
See, and you can sit back and, internally kind of giggle as other people hem and haw when they are put on the spot for having to role play amongst themselves.
Exactly. So what else would you two like to cover role play wise with Lord Aldegar or any of the other sires?
I mean, we could ask him about what things are taboo. He only mentioned siring. He didn't mention diablerie. He did not talk about what happened.
He mentioned destruction.
Right, you don't destroy another Knight, but I mean, there is the matter of the beast. He only kind of touched on that, and it's a thing that can happen.
Okay.
It almost did happen, if not for the technical issues we had.
Yep, we could definitely talk about the beast. If that's something you want, that's something Aldegar is prepared to speak about. I have actual notes about that. Let me pull it up. Where'd they go? Where did I put them? There they are. Control F. Aldegar on the beast.
Karanek is going to have to lean really heavily on intimidation for social roles.
I think so too. Later that night, after the night you wake up, there's not much to do because you haven't had to feed. Aldegar's been around. He's giving you lessons here or there. At one particular time while you were sitting, and he was just reading from a book, and he was nothing major. He didn't have anything to teach at the point, but he stops and he looks up and he says, "You felt it already, haven't you? That thing beneath your breath, the heat behind your eyes. It wakes before you feed. It watches when you're still. It does not sleep because it's older than sleep. The monks write of demons. The old songs whisper of wolves in men's skin, but those are shadows cast by a darker truth. It's not in you. It is what remains when all else is stripped away. I call it the hunger. Others call it worse, but the name changes nothing. It is what rises when the pain does not stop you. It's what remains when you've forgotten your own name, but it still knows how to tear a throat. You're not to reason with. You are not to chain it. And should that chain break, should it ever speak in your voice, you must ensure it does not speak again for long. Some fools wear it proudly. They call themselves lions, wolves, dragons. I've buried all of them. Your strength, my children, is not how hard you strike. It's in how hard you resist the hand that clutches. The thing within you will claw for control every time you hunger, every time you bleed, every time you are made to kneel. You must never let it rain, not even for a breath, because once it wears your face, no one's going to remember the difference. Have you felt it, children? Have you felt its pull, the anger, the rage?
No more than usual.
A little more than usual.
When it rages, when you lose control, and you will, what you love dear near you will be destroyed, will be gone. And if you let it out too much, it will become more and more dominant until it's all that remains. And you become a monster. A wight. A creature to be destroyed lest you destroy everything around you. You must cling to that humanity. You must cling to what remains, what it means to be human. And hold to it, even though you are a monster now. You are Cain's creation. But you must maintain your humanity or you will be lost to the beast. And you will be destroyed. Or you will destroy everything in your path. I told you, this is not just a gift, it is a curse. At any point, if you cannot bear it, the sun awaits.
What about feeding, though? I am hungry after all.
I do believe it is time that you feed again. I have prepared vessels for you. Two twins are brought in. Young nobles, sons of a thane. 13, 14 years old, light-haired, identical. They're brought forth. Aldegar places a hand on one of their heads and the other hand on the other. They are so lulled, they are ready to be fed upon. But you have a choice. Do you feed on them or do you wait?
I mean, I am hungry. Yeah, I think I'll try.
All right. So you, I'm not going to narrate. We don't have to narrate everything, but you latch on to your victim, and you begin feeding. And how much do you take? Do you take them to the brink of death? Do you take just a sip? Do you control yourself? You're not so hungry that you would hunger frenzy at this point.
I would control myself. These are children, after all. Do not want to bring them to the brink of death.
They're not really children anymore. Not at this point.
No.
They're 14.
But,
they're men.
Yes, but I was also a 14-year-old at one point, and I did not feel like an adult at that age, even though we technically are. Don't feel it, and I couldn't bring myself to do that to someone who is still innocent. Yes,
we will not harm the innocent. You're not harming the innocent by taking a little bit of blood from them.
Exactly.
Key work. You're not as hungry. But you're being offered fresh blood.
I won't turn down the the offered I can't work. Meal. There we go.
The offer of a meal. Fantastic. So you latch on and how much do you take? Do you take a lot? Do you take a little?
I just take a mouthful and then I release the boy.
And you release the boy. All right. Does anyone attempt to change their memories? I don't think you can. You can't, Wendretta. Do you have that power keyword?
I have no mental abilities, only presence.
Ah, yes. So Adelgar turns and looks at the young men and says, "Forget," and makes his roll. Where'd my thing go? I always have to roll. He's fed.
Does he teach us to lick the bite?
Yes, he does teach you to lick the bite. He rolls over and says, "Lick the bite, my children. Hide it."
Wait a minute, what does that mean?
Okay, in the context of the game, when a vampire bites their victim, if they then lick it afterwards, it heals the bite wound. Oh my. They almost succeed in in resisting the cloud their memory, but they do not. And they stop and their eyes glaze over. And they "Where are we, brother? I do not know." And they kind of walk out of the room, hand in hand.
They both have nightmares.
They both have nightmares from this point.
And they're skipping away.
They're not skipping away. They are both very confused as to where they are.
Just a little anemic.
All right, but on a normal night, we're going to do feeding challenges, Ellie. So we're going to practice those right now. A feeding challenge for you is, let me take a look at your character sheet, because I have that on your sheet. Character sheets, vampire character sheets, Anglo-Saxon character sheets, Wendretta. So Wendretta's feeding type is Scene Queen, and you'll be using manipulation plus persuasion. So Scene Queen, in the context of our game, is you go to the mead halls and hang out with the drunks, which is going to be very interesting for an alderman's wife.
I mean, she's an alcoholic, and she already goes to the mead hall every once in a while because alcoholism. So not too far out of the realm of possibilities.
Absolutely. So on your feeding test nights, you will make a manipulation plus persuasion roll. Difficulty 3, because you have a chassis of 3.
So that would be 6, and that again, excuse me, is that again with the 3 red and the 3 black?
With the 3 red, well, now you would only have 2 red and so you'd have 2 red and 4 black, correct?
Yes, because I ate and
Yes. So in this theoretical situation where you're out hunting, you're out at the mead hall carousing.
All right, 1, 2, 3, 4.
And you would reach your 3 successes, and you would feed successfully, and we would role play a scene where you fed successfully in the mead hall. Kinnerick, you are a housecarl, and you feed with strength plus brawl. So you basically roll up on people and just take their blood. How describe how you do that? Are you just going to be a rough and tumble type of dude, or are you going to cause fights outside the mead hall?
Yeah, I figured I could also use his means of intimidation to separate people, to get them, away from prying eyes otherwise. But also, potentially, I was wondering if he could procure people for Wendretta when she can't otherwise leave. And also to bring this up, if you're eating on that person in the meat hall, you better make sure that they're of noble blood.
Well, that's what's represented by a successful. I believe there is, what is her Bane clan flaw? It doesn't actually come up as a doesn't lessen her draw to hunt. So a successful roll on a hunting roll means she finds what she's looking for.
That's right. I forgot about that.
Yes, that is the mechanical way that the hunting works. She finds what she's looking for should she succeed on the roll.
Really?
But should she feed on the wrong things accidentally outside of that, then that's when the problem comes in. Well, as it comes to your feeding, getting your success on the strength plus brawl also means that you have cornered, a target not in. Doesn't just mean
okay.
you roll. Yeah, it's the breadth of your hunting style boiled down to one roll, which for you is strength plus brawl, which is like an 8 if I'm correct, or a 7. It's high.
Yeah, it's a 7.
And you did not feed successfully tonight, as you needed 3.
No, if we were playing, I'd probably roll a willpower.
You definitely want to roll a willpower on that because you did not succeed in getting any blood, and you spent the night looking for someone to beat up, and you just couldn't find anybody. Well, not the entire night, until people stopped going to the mead hall. Night. How does night work in the Middle Ages? Well, it works in 2 different types of sleep. You have the first watch and the second watch. So you sleep in shifts. Most people, so you get up in the middle of the night, and you either pray, sexy stuff or other stuff, go to the mead hall, whatever, visit friends, but you usually get up in the middle of the night and do stuff. The sleep schedule is split into two. I'm usually much more eloquent about it, but I'm just not right now. What else do we need to go over? Combat. We've done combat. We've done social combat, which also means we've done physical combat. Systems of the blood. We've done hunting grounds. We've done hunting. We've got our compulsions. Clan compulsions. Is that what we're going to do this time, Keyword? Do you think that's what we should do? Instead of rolling for compulsions, we should just do clan compulsions?
I think, is there a way we could do it contextually? I mean, the fail and then, I mean,
the fail and the roll is fine. I've got a chart with all that stuff on it here.
Ventru clan compulsion. That's what's that? It's not the beauty thing, right?
No. Yours is arrogance. The need to rule rears its head in the vampire. They stop at nothing to assume command of a situation. Someone must obey an order from the vampire. Any action not directly associated with leadership receives a 2 dice penalty. This compulsion lasts until an order has been obeyed, though the order must not be supernaturally enforced, such as to dominate.
I mean, we can go with clan compulsion unless you want to do the table thing. I mean, don't leave that up to us. We have 4 other people.
Well, I will leave it up to everybody else. I'm asking you right now for your input. What do you think we should do?
Now, the table we were rolling on before, that was just the dominate.
It's right out of the book, 1 through 10. It's hunger, dominance, harm, paranoia, clan compulsion.
I mean, we could totally do that.
Okay. All right.
Like I said, it just seemed like in the other one, it was either, what was it, like 3 or below, it was paranoia, and then everything else was dominate.
No, 4 and 5 was dominance, but one of us just kept getting dominance, and Bishop had a hard time just coming up on the spot with how to be dominant. I would have just punched someone in the nose and then peed on him. That's how I would have exerted dominance, but I wasn't role-playing it.
Well, getting the one of having to do harm was also really difficult, too, because it's like, there are situations where you can't do anything like that.
Where you break something, or you head first something, or in a social setting, the smooth introduction goes sour as the vampire starts to harass or psychologically torture the subject. In a violent setting, instead of leaving an incapacitated adversary, the vampire gleefully starts tearing into the unconscious opponent. Or in a solitary setting, annoyed at a minor inconvenience, the vampire takes a baseball bat to their expensive computer rig. That's a Haggard thing to do.
I drive my forehead into the drywall.
Exactly. Not only hurting yourself, but the drywall. And we have to do all this in the context of the Anglo-Saxon age. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait, because a lot of the game that we're going to be playing is like The Sims, where you're controlling individual people, individual NPCs. We're going to eventually run into Alfred. He's not going to be as cool as the Alfred from the Last Kingdom. Maybe we'll run into Uhtred.
Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Uhtred Ragnarsson. Now, let me ask chat. Do you guys have any questions? It's been quiet, a little quiet, but do you have any questions about anything? If not, we're going to wrap up here soon because we don't have the full session. We're only going to do till 11 tonight.
Oh, and I told Ellie that downtimes, you get XP for those, so every chance she gets.
Well, I'm going to be more careful with XP this time, too. I'm going to be much more careful with XP. I'm going to keep track of how much I give much more carefully than I have in the past. That's for sure. That's definitely for sure.
It's all good.
All right, everybody. I'm gonna get ready to rate us out. We're going to go to Haggard Hessian tonight. No,
Just wait, Shrion.
They will be overpowered, Shrion. Trust me.
Kiernick's gonna have to roll resolve to not accidentally crush a pewter goblet and break the masquerade.
Exactly. All right, so here we go, everybody. I'll catch you later. Peace.
Bye. Good night.